Hi everyone, good evening. Am I audible to you? Let me know through the chat if I am audible. Okay, great. Okay, so first of all, I want to say you that in case if your friends are not here, you can share the link with them and you can ask them to join. So I will be telling you the importance of health lesson and whatever it is. So we will be discussing for the new grade 10s and the new grade 11s. Okay, so right, we'll wait for about 2 to 3 minutes and we will get started, right? So get ready. And also, I have shared my note, short note and questions and mind maps to my students, those who have shared my posters. So in case if there's anyone who don't have these materials, you can just drop me a text to this particular number. So I will send you after the class, okay? So you can get use of that. I have sent the number to you. Right. You will be doing in the February, but we will have a seminar for the health students, those who are facing their exams in this year, Feb. Okay, so I will update those things, but this is for the new students, right? But if you're okay in joining this session, then fine, no problem. Okay. Okay, so let's get started with our health session. So I already have mentioned that this health session is for the grade 10 students and also grade 11 students. But today we will be learning the grade 10 first chapter, not the grade 11. The reason I mentioned it because for the grade 10 students, the first lesson is very important as far as to the students who are in grade 11 also. So if you have stepped to the grade 11, still this lesson is very important for you because every year at least you get question from this lesson, at least for 2 to 3 marks you will be getting, which is important because it's a compulsory lesson. First lesson is a compulsory lesson. They will never skip this lesson for any of your term papers, any of your O-level papers, because this lesson, especially the definitions, are very important. But let me talk to you something, okay? So, health is your third basket subject. Third basket subject. So, this is your basket subject, especially for the government students. They know they have the selection between the health, ICT. In some schools, they have the home science also. So the reason most of them select health is because they wanted to score an A, because many of us are selecting the hardest subject. Now you have 9 lessons for your O level. So what are those 9 lessons? You have English is easy. But if you take the science, maths, history, if you're selecting the business studies, if you're selecting certain subjects, now certain subjects are literally hard. Like if you're choosing English literature, you have to be so dedicated. So just because to reduce the stress in the 9 A's, they wanted to select the easiest subject in the basket 3 is the health. But still, some people say health is not important. Of course, health is something you are learning your science back again. And also you're learning the things which is generally that you have to know. So that is what you're learning in health. But some people says, of course, we have to select ICT because ICT is very important. Yes, I will agree. But why don't you do something like this? So, if you have selected health once after your O level, however, you are going to choose a course that is related to the IT. However, you will be learning the basic foundation of ICT again, what you did in your O levels and A levels. So, this is what the smart children will do. Okay, it's up to you to select whether it's ICT or health, but health is something that will reduce your stress. You can assure to get an A. You can get an A, but there are people who is good in ICT. You can select ICT if you are really good in it, and if you know you can do it, right? So right, let's get started with the health. Your first lesson is about healthy society. So you have to talk about what? Healthy society. So this is our first lesson in your grade 10, right? I will not go very short. I will teach you in deeply about the lesson because most of the time I have seen during my school time, there are so many students, they are still struggling to complete their health lesson because there is no proper teacher. They don't spend much time on reading the health book. At the same time, they don't give much importance until they are facing their exam. So this is the hardest truth I will tell you. But here in the health, all about understanding, nothing to memorize. All you have to understand, get an idea. Generally, you can write your idea in the paper. In health, they will accept your own answers. You don't want it to photocopy what is already in the book to write it on the paper. It doesn't matter. You can write your own answers if you understand the lesson very well, right? So let's do like that. Okay, let's reduce our stress. Let's do it in a way that you will understand, right? So our first lesson, it's about what? It's about a healthy society. Always, my method of teaching is I will always explain you the heading of the lesson because it's very important. Understanding the meaning of the heading, because you have to know what you are going to talk about. So a healthy society, so our first lesson is about healthy society. So before we talk about the heading, I will tell you something. When I teach something, I will not look into your chat box. Okay, I will not look into your chat box. But the thing is, once after I explain a certain things, I will ask you whether you understood or whether you didn't understand. So at that time, you can shoot your answers. If you understood, say yes. So we can move forward, right? Okay, let's get started. So listen to me. So what does a healthy society really mean? So in this lesson, you have to understand healthy society means, like some people think healthy. So healthy means what? A person without any diseases. So you always think whenever you talk about a healthy society, a person without any diseases. So when I take this healthy society, what does that mean? I am going to divide into 4 sections. I will divide the healthy society into how many sections? 4 major sections. The first section, when we talk about the healthy society, we have to understand you should have a good health services. So in a society, if they are giving you a well-organized, preventive and curative health services, then we can say our society is healthy. So what we can say, if you have a well-organized health services, now when you go to the government, if you go to the government hospital in Sri Lanka, they don't care whether you break your leg, you are bleeding. So they don't care much because the health services in the country is very, very disorganized. They are not organized at all. They are like, they don't care it. So this is why we can say Sri Lanka is still the developing country, not the developed country. Did you understand? So you have to understand what is a healthy society is. So when we talk about healthy society, now listen to me. I'm saying you what is really important here. So I said you well organized preventive and curative health services, right? Now before any diseases occur, now during the corona period, what did they do? They asked us to prevent ourselves wearing the mask. They asked us to do some antigen test to prevent it will spread among the people. So this is what we call it as healthy society. So you should have some good vaccination programs, health education. You should have some good facilities to the people. That we call it as what? We call it as the well-organized health services. So that means when we define healthy society, they should have this. They should have this. Then what else? Then what else we have to understand? You should have a good social economic background. So if you are having a good social and economic background, then we can say it is a healthy society. If let's say education wise, now let's say this is our country. Now if I take our country, this part of the country is having good education. The people in that means the families in that particular area having a stable income, everyone are employed, and they are having a good safe housing. They are not in a danger zone. They are not where they get the flood. So this is what we call it as what? Healthy society. So the definition for the healthy society is what? You should have the nutritious food. You should have access to the health care. You should live in a clean environment, not in a polluted environment. So this is what we call it as what? Healthy society. Then how we can define the healthy society? The next thing is a clean environment. So if we are talking about a clean environment, what is clean environment? If you have the clean air, if you have the clean water, proper waste disposal, not where you throw the trashes here and there. So if you have a proper waste disposal, we call it as clean environment. If you have the clean surroundings, we say that's a clean environment. So when you have a clean environment, you call that as what? Healthy society, where there is no mosquito is breeding, where there is no rat diseases is not spreading. We call it as leptospirosis. So what do you think? If the environment is clean in that particular area, that particular society is healthy. Then what is the fourth one? What is the fourth one we can define? What is healthy society. So healthy society, we have to think about freedom. So freedom from what? Freedom from diseases and disabilities. So that is what we call it as what? We call it as the healthy society. So that means when we talk about healthy society has different definition, but all what you see is what? You should not have diseases or disabilities. That is what we call it as what? Healthy society, where the people in the country is happy. That is what we call it as what? Healthy society. Now, under this healthy society, you are going to study something called total health. What are you going to learn? You are going to learn something called total health. Now you understood what is a healthy society, right? Healthy society means you should not have any diseases or disabilities. That we call it as healthy society. But look at the word. This word is a total health. In another term, we can call it as what? Complete health. So if I wanted to say that you are healthy, we have to understand the definition of this. But before we understand the definition of that, I wanted to understand whether you understood what is a healthy society is. Let me know. If you say yes, we can move forward. If you say no, you can say what is the thing that you didn't understand. Right. Great. Listen to me. So when we talk about total health, total health means what? Let's say this is you. Let's say you don't have any diseases. Let's say you have no diseases at all. Let's say you don't have any disabilities. But let's say you don't like to speak with people. That means socially you are weak. You don't like to smile. You are not happy. You feel insecure. You feel lethargic. So that means what? You don't have these things. Okay, you don't have the diseases and disabilities. We know somewhat you are healthy. But do you healthy in this way? If I am talking here physically, mentally, socially, spiritually, are you healthy? No. So total health means if you are a person who is happy, talking to the people, being friendly, taking care of yourself, and you don't have diseases, disabilities, you eat on time, you sleep on time. This is what we call it as what? Total health. So total health means what? Total health means you have to understand. What do you need to understand? The concept. Total health is not only being free from diseases and disabilities, but also having the social, spiritual, mental, physical well-being. That you call it as what? That you call it as total health. So always understand. Now this definition, when you go to the first term, they will ask you to write the definition. Sometimes this definition might be given in your MCQ. They can ask you to identify what is that term is speaking about. So you have to understand. Don't by heart. When I was grade 10, I was by hearting this very well because I didn't understand. But when you understand, you don't need to by heart. So how we have to understand? How is the definition is formed? Definition means what? Total health is not only being what? Free from diseases and disabilities, but also having the physical, mental, social, spiritual well-being. That you call it as what? Total health. Now listen to me. Now I said you physical, mental, social, spiritual. Let's say now you don't know what is this physical well-being, mental well-being, social well-being. I'll give you a small examples to remember your grade 9, grade 8, grade 7, grade 6 lessons. Okay, simply I'll tell you. Physical well-being means always remember, if you have your body power, let's say the strength, you don't have any illness, you are fit, you have a good balanced diet, you are doing exercise. So this is what we call it as what? Physical well-being. Mental well-being is all about emotion, love, how you are handling your stress, positive thinking, empathy. This is what we call it as what? Mental well-being. Social well-being means like you are gathering in a place, like a group, like a team. So you're having a healthy relationship with your colleagues, with your friends, with your peers, with your family. So this is what we call it as social well-being. You're respecting each other, good interaction, speaking, laughing. So this is what we call it as social well-being. Then what is spiritual? Spiritual means like, what do you say? Inner peace. You are praying, you're what are you visiting the temple, you're visiting the mosque, you're visiting the church. So this is, we call it as finding inner peace, understanding the meaning of the life. You are knowing your moral value, you are helping others to get the good deeds, you are loving the cats and dogs, you feel bad for the people who treat the pets in a bad way. So this is, we call it as spiritual well-being, like meditation. So this is what we call it as what? Spiritual well-being. Now, first of all, did you understand what is a total health? So total health means what? Is not only being free from diseases and disabilities, but also having the physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being. That you call it as what? Total health. Are you clear with that? Are you clear with the definition? Yes. Great. Now you understood what is a total health. Right now, if you ask me a question, now you have to ask me, teacher, are you healthy? Now I'm also asking you the question, are you healthy? And if I'm asking the question to everyone who is in the session, are you healthy? You all will say no. Why? We are humans. We are not perfect. But certain things will not let us to be healthy. So let's see what are those things that will not let us to be healthy. So that is what we call it as factors affecting total health. So let's see what are those factors. So you have some main factors that will break down. Now maybe you might be don't have diseases and disabilities. Might be you might feeling not well, like not well in the sense not happy, lonely, no friends. This is also not healthy. It's not good. So let's see what are the factors influencing the total health. Right? Let's see what are those factors. Huh? Okay. The first factor is, let me write it as factors. Okay, so you will understand. So the first factor is education. Okay, the first factor is what? Education and intellectual activities. Okay, yeah, it's not in your book specifically, but I'll explain you because this is important for you guys. Huh? Listen to me. So education and intellectual activities. So that means, now let's say if you have a problem in thinking, if you have a problem in reading, learning, problem solving, so this is where you are become unhealthy. So what do you have to do? What you have to do? You have to improve your social understanding, your mental health. So this is where we have to understand, it's very important. Your education is very, 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 very important. Let's say now I'm a person who doesn't go to school. Okay, I don't have a basic knowledge how to cook. I don't have a basic knowledge that I have to close the what? I have to close the door when I'm in. So this is what you have to understand. Whenever we talk about education, education make us healthy. That's what they ask you to study well. Why? General knowledge is very important. You learn new habits. You learn how to do the things. So education is one of the first factor that you need to understand. So what is the next factor? These all are normal factors, okay? So second factor is physical exercise. So when you talk about physical exercises, you have to understand very, 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 very carefully, okay? So you have to understand very carefully. So nowadays people are unhealthy because of what? Now they have become the couch potatoes. So which means what? What? They do not move here and there. They are spending lot of the times in watching the reels. They are on Netflix. They sit for a long time. No walking, not moving. All your muscles will be strained. So because of this, there is a high chance we all can get what? Non-communicable diseases, and also you don't sleep on time. So this is the main reason we will get unhealthy, right? Okay, so here it's azan. Just give me around 2 to 3 minutes. Once it's done, we will continue, okay? Okay, right. Thanks for waiting. Let's get started, right? So look here. So the next factor that we are going to talk about is the health services, which is very important. You can write it down. So when you talk about the health services, so the main thing is health services is the reason we can say sometimes our total health can be broken. So what is health services means hospitals, clinics, doctors, nurses, maternal, child health care. So these all will come under what? Health services. So if the hospitals conditions are not improved, if the doctors are not trained well, what will happen? You will be in trouble. So health services is very, 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 very important when it comes to the factors affecting the total health. So you should understand. Now if I say in Sri Lanka, most of the doctors in Sri Lanka, they fly, they go to the abroad, they don't want to stay in Sri Lanka. So what will happen to the country? We will be lacking doctors. So when there is a huge disease is being spreaded, what will happen? We don't have enough doctors to serve. So this will be a huge problem in future. And also well equipped hospitals. We need the hospitals where they have all the necessary equipments, and they should have the easy access to the clinics. So this is what we can say the factors that is affecting what? Affecting the total health. So if you have the good health services sector, definitely you will be having a healthy society. So let's come to the next point. So the next point is physical environment. So when we say physical environment, now you have to think about your surrounding. So you have to think about what? You have to think about your surrounding. So when we think about the surrounding, you have to understand if we are having a good climate, clean water, clean air, well-planned urbanization, proper waste management in the particular area, in your school, in your house, in everywhere. So that means you are having a total health. But just think, if you don't have the clean air, clean water, what will happen? Sometimes you will get diarrhea, cholera, you will get asthma diseases, lung diseases. Why? If you don't have the proper physical environment, definitely your total health can be broken down. So what is the next one? Next one is social. Social and economic background. Social and economic background. So social and economic background in the sense, if the people in the society or the people in your family understand, so if you have a good education standard, if your family members are not taking alcohol, drugs, good interpersonal relationship, and you are free from the stress, this is what we call it as social and economic background. So educated people understand the health advice better. So stable income people, what they will do? They can get nutritious food, good medical care. So it will prevent you getting from the diseases. So that is the fourth factor that you have to remember. So what is the next factor? The next factor is genetic composition. Genetic composition. So genetic composition means there are some families, they get married within their family. That means very close relative. Now let's say the mother and the father, they are both close relative, but both of them are healthy. But the baby that they are going to form in the future, that baby can be diseased. Let's say this baby has grown into a man or a girl or whatever. Let's say he or she gets married to another person. What will happen? The child, the whole generation will be totally unhealthy. So unhealthy means what? They can have inherited diseases, like they can have the certain diseases like diabetes from the family, they can have high blood pressure from the family, and these things can be affecting the total health. So that's what we call it as genetic composition. What is the sixth one? Person's behavioral pattern. So what is person's behavioral pattern? Like, you have to understand. You have to have good food habits. You have to eat on time, move your body, regular exercises, rest, you're taking relaxation, you are avoiding alcohol, you are protecting yourself from the unknown people, and you are avoiding unprotected sexual relationship. So this is what we call it as what? Personal. We call it as person's behavioral pattern. So person's behavioral pattern also important. If you don't sleep properly, you are risking yourself to get stress. Once you get stressed, you don't understand what's happening surrounding you. You can't eat, you can't sleep because of the stress. It will ruin your life. So that's what you have to understand. These are the factors affecting what? It is affecting your total health. So what are those factors? Factors, you have to remember these factors. It's very important. You know why? In your exam paper, at least they will ask you 2 factors. So you should write it correctly. So one is health services, education, physical environment, social and economic background, genetic composition, person's behavioral pattern. So these things is very, very important. Right. Now we are going to study. Now we studied the factors, right? Now we got to know, okay, these are the things will cause us the problem. To prevent the problem, how we have to live. So we are going to study suitable lifestyle to maintain total health. So you are going to study what? You are going to study the suitable lifestyle. So let's talk about the suitable lifestyle in detail. So we will be talking about it in detail. So you will get to know more about it. So then you will understand, right? So let's talk about the suitable lifestyle. So it's very important. In your first term, sometimes they can ask you to explain. But in your O-level papers, they will not ask you to explain. They will just ask you to write them. But especially Unit 1 is full of MCQs. You get in MCQs, right? So whatever the points that I say, it's very important for you to listen, okay? So for the first lifestyle that you have to remember is good eating habits. So let me explain you what is good eating habits, okay? So when you say good eating habits, what do you need to understand? Good eating habits means what? You are having a good healthy diet. So some people think you know that health does not come from eating more food. Some people they eat lot of food. No, not like that. So health does not come from eating more food. You have to eat the right balance of food in order to be healthy. If you don't eat food, you will be sick. If you eat too much food, you will be sick. So you have to be always moderated. So when we talk about the good eating habits, you have a set of groups that you have to eat. So let's study one by one. So what are the food we have to take it in our diet? What are the food? So number 1, we can take grains. So grains, in another term, we can call it as cereals. We can call it as cereals. And we can take tubers also. We can take tubers. In another term, we call it as yams. So what are the grains we take nowadays? Rice, wheat, bread, potatoes, manioc, yams. These all you call it as the group that will come under grains and tubers. So why are they important? Why is the rice is important? Potato is important. Manioc, yams. Why is it important? Because most of them has carbohydrate where they give you what? Main source of energy. They give you what? Main source of energy. Now just think, will you? Now you are coming to my physical class. Let's imagine you are coming to my physical class and you look so tired in the morning. The reason is because you have not taken your carbohydrates. So when you skip your carbohydrates, you can't concentrate in the class. You will feel tired. So carbohydrate is important, not too much. Something in moderate. So what is the next thing that you have to add in your diet? Vegetables. So if it is vegetables, what we can say, leafy vegetables, carrots, beans, pumpkins, so on. You have lots of vegetables. So vegetables are what? They are rich in vitamins, minerals. It helps you to improve your immunity, helps you to do the digestion. So some people, they don't eat vegetables because it's not tasty. But what you have to understand, vegetables are not for the taste. They are for your protection. We don't eat vegetables for the taste. We eat it for the protection. So you have to remember that. So what is the next category we have to eat? We have to take fruits. So what are the fruits we can take that is available in Sri Lanka? Papaya, banana, orange, apple. Why? They have vitamins. They prevent diseases. They will improve your eyesight, skin health. So it's very important you to understand. So if you take too much vitamin C, it's good. They will prevent you from frequent infections. So always remember, vitamin C is very, very important. So what is the D? Let's see, what is the group that we can take the food? We can take this fish, meat. We can take eggs. These are all important. So some people, they are vegetarian. But the people who are vegetarian are the weakest people. The reason they don't take enough amount of iron to their body. So let's talk about the fish, egg, dal, chickpeas, green gram, eggs. What do you have here? They are source of protein. So protein can grow your muscle development. And also it's important for whom? For the children, adolescent, like people like you, pregnant women. So these people, they need this category of food. Then what else? Now we have to take everything in moderate. Then what else we can take? We can take milk and other dairy products like curd, cheese. So why do we need this milk, curd, cheese? Because calcium is very, very important for your body, for your strong bones, for your strong teeth. You need what? Calcium. Then finally, you have to talk about the seeds. So seeds rich in fat, cashew nuts, peanuts, walnuts, sesame seed, almonds. So it's very, very important. They are healthy fat, not like the fat that bring you diseases. It's good for your brain development, and these fats should be taken in very, very less in amount. It's very important to be taken in less amount. So that is the first lifestyle that you have to remember. So what is the first lifestyle to maintain your total health? What is that? Good eating habits. So good eating habits is very, very important. If you don't eat properly, you will be sick. So let's see what is the second suitable lifestyle that we have to maintain. The second one is active lifestyle and exercise. So we have to take what? Active lifestyle and exercise. So active lifestyle and exercise is about, you have to understand something like this. Now we have two types of diseases in this world. One is communicable diseases, other one is non-communicable diseases. Now if you take your ancestors and if you take your grandparents, all these people passed away. Is it because of the communicable disease or non-communicable disease? It's all about non-communicable diseases. Why? What's the reason? They were not active. They didn't work hard. So because of that, they had the non-communicable diseases. They lived only for few years and they died.
So you know what is non-communicable diseases, right? Cancer, diabetes, cholesterol, heart stroke. So this is what we call it as the non-communicable diseases. So in order to not to have this kind of diseases, to be healthy, you have to do some lightweight exercises. So if you are coming under the category of children, how many minutes are you supposed to do the exercise? 60 minutes, which means 1 hour. If it's adults like your parents, they don't have time, so they can do about for 30 minutes. So this time is important. Every year you get this time in the MCQ, so you have to remember that. So everyone needs to exercise. Age does not excuse your inactivity. So always remember, it's very important to do the exercises. So what kind of exercises that you can do when you can't go to gym? Walking briskly, you can run, cycling, swimming. These things are good for your body. Even you can do some sports like volleyball, netball, football. You can do some sports and you can do what? These exercises. So it's very important. You can walk to the nearby places instead of using vehicles. You can clean your houses, sweeping, mopping, gardening, helping your mothers to cook, using the staircase instead of elevators and escalators. So this is what you say healthy life. You have to exercise. You have to give importance to your muscle, bones, and everything, right? Come to the third factor. Let's say what is the third one? So the third one is about maintaining appropriate mass, body mass. So if you're maintaining your BMI, so if you're maintaining a correct BMI, it's good. So let's see what is BMI. BMI means if you are having a correct body weight to your height, that is we call it as what? We call it as BMI. So there are people who are too much tall, but their body weight is very less. We call it as underweight. We call it as underweight. That means their weight is not appropriate to the height. Then overweight means what? They are short people, too much weight for their height. So that's overweight. And you have another category that's normal. For your height, you are having a correct BMI. You are having a correct weight. So when you talk about BMI, in your first term, they can ask your formula for the BMI. So BMI calculation is simply easy. Put your body weight. So your body weight is being divided by height into height. BMI is getting divided by what? Body weight divided by height into height. So that is going to be your formula. So here, formula is not that important, but I will tell you, if you take your immunization card, you have 4 colors. You have 4 colors. So let me explain you those 4 colors. So that's what you have to understand. So that 4 colors will tell you how much healthy you are. That is, we call it as nutritional status. So nutritional status will say whether you are having too much nutrition, moderate nutrition, not enough nutrition. That is, we call it as nutritional status. So when it comes to the BMI colors, you have the colors to remember. One color is orange color in your immunization card. Other color is the green color. Green color. Then you have the light purple color. Light purple color. Then you have the dark purple color. Dark purple color. So orange will say that in case if your BMI is marked in orange color in a scale, they say, what do you need to understand? You are under what? Underweight. You are underweight, which means you are coming under wasting. You are very weak child. So that's what we call it as underweight. If it's green, you are coming under the category of what? Normal. Light purple, you are overweight. You are overweight. Dark purple, you are coming under the obese. Obesity. Too much. Too much. That is what we call it as what? Obesity. So obesity only you will be getting like high blood pressure, joint pain, you will get diabetes, certain cancer level. Those things only you have to remember. So now when it comes to the ancient measurement, just remember only the ancient measurement for the normal. It's 18.5. So 18.5 to 22.9. From here to here only. This is the normal scale for the BMI. If you just remember that, because I have seen many times in your paper for the MCQ, it has been appeared. So that's what I'm just giving this to you to remember. Just remember 18.5 to 22.9. So that is going to be the scale for what? Normal. Right? So why people are getting overweight? Obesity, and why is it dangerous? What's the reason? Because they can face some health consequences like diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer. So if they wanted to reduce this, they can do some exercises. They will move here and there, maintaining their body weight. So if they can reduce this, all of them, then definitely they can come to the normal scale. So it's very, very important to maintain our body. Clear with that? Understood? Got the idea? Right. So now when it comes to the BMI, always remember BMI is depending on the gender, age, and the person. So it's very important to understand that also. Come to the fourth suitable lifestyle to maintain total health. So the fourth one is adequate sleep and rest. So what is the fourth one? Adequate sleep and rest. So if you talk about the adequate sleep and rest, why sleep is important? What's the reason sleep is important? That's what your parents say, sleep on time, because your body will grow, your brain will grow, your brain will take rest. Recap, your body will always require a rest. So it's very important. Your body will repair the tissues, your brain will organize the memories, your hormones will be released on time. It's because of what? The sleep. So if you are an adult, you can sleep for about 8 hours. But if it's the children, 10 to 12 hours is mostly recommended, like the babies. You know why babies sleeping, right? For the growth. So just understand, sleep is the food for your brain. If your brain has to grow, if you have to be an intelligent child, if you want to be a person who understands everything, sleep is very important. Don't sleep too much. Sleep on time, wake up on time, be active. That's what you wanted to give train for your brain. So just see, if you are a person who spends lot of time in your phone, TV, nowadays TV is not needed, right? You have the phone to watch the reels. You watch, you spend lot of time in the phone. You don't sleep much. You wake up to the school early in the morning. So you will have what? Poor concentration, sleepiness, you will get angry, irritability, tiredness during the day. You will not be that energy to work. So this is what they say, don't use your phone late night, don't do the gaming late night. So it's very, very important. Are you clear with that? Got the idea? Right. So now we have to go with the fifth factor. We have to go with the fifth lifestyle. So when we talk about the fifth lifestyle, so what is the fifth lifestyle? We can say simple life. You can have a simple life. So let me explain you what is a simple life is. So when we talk about simple life, now you are living according to your needs. You are eating your food, you're sleeping, you are doing your work. So some people, they have the endless wants, right? Endless wants means they are greedy. So that means they are not enough of what they have. You're being content with the modest living. You're avoiding unnecessary luxuries. So that is what we call it as simple life. So simple life means you're not impressing people. You live for yourself. You're living stress-free life, balanced life. That is what we call it as what? We call it as the simple life. So what is the sixth point? We can say stress management. So we can talk about what? Stress management. So what is stress management? What is a stress? Stress means you're reacting for a challenge. I'm saying suddenly tomorrow you have a spot test. You are how the way you are reacting for a problem, that you call it as stress. So different from person to person. You will have a different stress, I will have a different stress. You might be scared for the exam paper, I might be a person who don't care at all. So this is what we call it as the stress. So why is the stress is making you more like as a student? Exams, your family is expecting you to get a 9A, your peer is pressuring you, competition between the students. So this is what you are getting, what? Stress. So always remember, stress is really good, but not for too much. Some people, they will be stressed because of the stress only they are studying for the exam, but there are people they don't have stress at all for anything. That means they don't like to study, they don't like to live, they just wanted to be like, don't know, they just want to stay like that. They don't want it to get motivated. So that is a different kind of people, they don't care about anything. So always remember, stress is good, it can motivate you to face the challenges, it will help you to complete your problem within a short term. So but if you are stressed for the long time, let's say you are having exam tomorrow, you face the exam, once you face the exam you have to forget about the problem. But there are people who stay for a long time, they think what will be my marks, what will be my marks, did I do any mistake, until they get the result. They are having a long-term stress. So when you have a long-term stress, you will have poor mental health, physical states, everything will be poor. Then what will happen? This stress will turn into what? Anxiety. If you become too much anxiety, it will turn into depression, where you even not think of taking off your life. So that is very, very important. So stress is good. Too much stress is bad. So how you can maintain your stress management? All about how you express your feelings. Your proper time management is important. You should have a simple lifestyle. Some people, they complicate their self. They do so much of things within the day. They're complicating. Some people, they go to this class, that class, this class. So much of classes. End of the day, they don't have time for themselves. This is the reason you are stressed. So always remember, stress grows when problems stay inside your mind. But when you forget about the problems, you will be out of stress. So this is what you have to understand. So what is the seventh lifestyle that we can remember? The seventh lifestyle is avoiding alcohol, drugs, and smoking. This is what we call it as the next one. So let's see how we can avoid the alcohol, drugs, and smoking. So this is like your personal habit. So when you talk about the alcohol, drugs, and tobacco, it will damage your physical health, your mental health, your social well-being. People will get lung cancer, liver cancer. You will be addicted, depression. Even though you don't have money, you have to buy them. You know, about 50% of income of lower income people, they are the one who is spending a lot on alcohol, drugs, and tobacco. So what will happen when you don't have money? You have only very few amount of money, but you're spending that the whole money to the alcohol. This will create poverty. Your children will have poor nutrition. Family have a problem because he's drinking every day. He is alcohol, he's drunk, and poor education. Children will misguided because of their parents. So it's very, very important to understand, it's really bad to have the alcohol. So what we can do if we wanted to reduce this alcohol thing? So how is this image is created for the alcohol? It's because of the advertisement, media. Some people, they think hero is the one who smoke, hero is the one who is drinking, so they try to take it what? They take it as a cool thing, they take it as a manly thing, they think heroes are the one who does that. So it's like manipulating people to the wrong way. That's what in Sri Lanka, if you take the Shakti TV, Sirasa TV, if anything bad goes, what they will do? They blur it. Why? They are not promoting things which is not good for the society. So peer group will influence. Come, let's have a drink. So these things will be happening. So manipulation takes place. So if I wanted to reduce this consumption of alcohol, drugs, and all of them, what is the main thing? Now I said the poor people are purchasing. So we can say increasing the price of cigarettes. You are limiting the place you are selling. Banning the advertisement that promotes alcohol, drugs, then legal actions to the people who are buying these drugs and selling the drugs, and you're selling only to the adults and obeying the laws. So this is what very, very important. So let's come to the 8th one, the last, suitable lifestyle to maintain your total health. So that's going to be the obeying the rules and regulation, which we can say it as laws. So why is law is important? Why they are saying to wear a helmet while you are going in the bike? Why they are asking you to cross the road using the zebra crossing? What's the reason? For your safety, for the public protection, to improve your general well-being. So laws are not restriction, they are protection. So you have to wear the seat belt, helmet, speed limits, don't drink and drive. Then what else? You have to. Why is that? To prevent yourself, to prevent injuries, to reduce the death. That is the main reason they are asking you to what? Obey the laws. Then no illegal abortion. So there is no illegal abortion. You can't do it. What's the reason? So some people, once they do the abortion, they will die because it's much painful thing, and also it's not something that a woman can tolerate. So abortion, illegal abortion is bad, and also illegal sexual activity is also bad. So that's what they're asking you to obey the laws. It's very, very important to understand. So these are the suitable lifestyle that I can say it's very important. If you can follow all of them, you can maintain your total health. Now we are going to study about the challenges. So what are the challenges to maintain the total health? That means there are some problems. It will come to your life. So let's see what are those challenges, how we can maintain our total health. Okay. So challenges, when we say about challenges, it's very important for us to understand how a person's total health is affected. It's about the genes, behavior, social factor, economic factor, physical environment. So because of these, a person will face so many challenges. So the first challenge is faced by the society is economy and level of education. So economy and level of education is one of the first challenge that we are facing to fix it till today for the total health. So especially what we can say, economy means what? The quality of food that you are having, your housing, clean water, medical care. So if you are a person who is having a low income, no nutrition food, your poor living conditions, delayed treatment, so this will affect you. Then how education affects the health? You don't know anything about the health. You don't know to follow the medical advice. You don't know to take the correct healthy decisions. So this is where the education becomes important, right? So what is the next point we can say? Population density. So population density means what? Now let's say in this particular area, this much of people living. So when the amount of people is increasing in that particular area, it will be overcrowding. There will be spread of infectious diseases. There will be pressure on housing, sanitation, water supply, pollution also can be increased. So because of that, total health can be damage. Then what is the next thing we can say? health services and disease. I told you, lack of hospitals, shortage of doctors, poor access to the medicine, that can bring problems to what? Total health. Then what else? Let's say suddenly natural disaster, war, refugee status, this all occurred. What will happen? Sometimes you will become the victim, you will not have enough amount of food, dress, like the recent flood, landslides in Sri Lanka. What happened? People didn't have dress, they didn't have the shelter, they spread of diseases like leptospirosis, mental trauma, injury. These all affected the people where the total health was broken. Then what is the next thing? Ill effects of tourism. Ill effects of what? Tourism. So ill effects of tourism. Now tourists come to our country, they spread diseases like corona. So substance they abuse, like they use some bad substance, they sell it among the people. Environmental pollution, cultural stress, the way they wear, they manipulate people wearing the things with the vulgarity. So that is ill effects of tourism. Then what else we can say? Influence of the media. Nowadays we all go to the Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. What are we watching? Unhealthy lifestyle is being promoted, body image pressure. Am I ugly? Is she ugly? Are you ugly? So these things are being comparison, substance normalization. You are taking chemicals, then you having bad behavior, sedentary behaviors. All these are being normalized. What else we can say? Development of technology. So when the technology develops, you become social isolation. You don't speak to your family. You are always in the phone. Sleeping disorders. Your eyes are becoming weak. Physical inactivity. So long screen time. This can make you weaker. Then finally, less interpersonal relationship. So what will happen? You don't speak to your family, stress, anxiety. Nowadays you don't have time to speak, busy lifestyle, 9 to 5 work. So this is something you have to be very, very concerned. You go to school, come back home, what are you doing? You are going back where? You are going back to your classes. Then you don't have time, you have only time to eat and sleep. Then within that time you don't have time to speak to your friends, you don't have time to speak to your family, so you don't have a way of sharing your problems. So that is what we say, you are lacking the interpersonal relationship, right? Now let's come to the final part of the total health. That's about how we can make sure, like what we can do in order to overcome the challenges about the total health. Especially you have to uplift the education of the people. If we uplift the education of the people, people will understand what is health, what is total health, they will understand. So what is the next thing we can say? We can have some awareness, what do you say, awareness program related to the total health. You can uplift the economic status of the people. Then what else? You can manage the population density, ill effects of the tourism. What else? You can also have uplifting welfare of the displaced people. Nowadays in Sri Lanka it's happening. So these are the points, at least 2 to 3 points is enough to understand how you're going to overcome these challenges. So that's what you have to understand. Clear? Right. So from this lesson, you have to understand what is total health, what are the factors affecting total health, what are the suitable lifestyle to maintain total health. You have to understand what are the challenges met by the total health and how to overcome the challenges by the total health. So this is what the whole lesson is speaking about. Clear with that? Understood? Got the idea? Any doubts? So this is what the lesson is about. So now we are done with the lesson 1. So every Tuesdays 8:30 p.m. we will be having the classes. Your grade 11, your grade 10 will be done parallelly, which means it will be done together, because those who are learning grade 10, learning grade 11 is also good. Those who are learning the grade 11, they will also learn the grade 10 together. As you know, both of the syllabus in grade 10 and 11 are same. The only thing is some adjustments are there. Other than that, both are same. You can study together. So every Tuesdays you are having the lessons. It's just 2,200. You have to do the payment 2,200 for the grade 10 and 11 together, and you will be receiving the short note, revision, and all of them, like how you receive everything, like past papers you will be doing and everything. So you will be completing the syllabus within 6 months. Before 6 months you will be completing the syllabus, which means you are ready for the grade 10, you're ready for the grade 11 also. So this is what will happen. So every Tuesdays we will be having. So I hope you understood the lesson clearly. So if you wanted to enroll, and also I will be sending you the messages to the groups, so you can have an idea, you can just drop me a text here. Let me know how was the class and how did you understand and everything. Have a good day, dear. While you are sending message, I'm just checking it, okay? For the O-level batch 2025, you will have a final seminar. And what else? No, Sumaya, it will not. No, it's just to make you understand what is a healthy society. Others are okay, right? Okay, so take care. See you.